I was listening to a podcast the other day of Layla Hormozy talking to her friend. I think his name is Sharon. I wasn't really familiar with Sharon before this, but he runs, a multi-billion-dollar company. And he shared this idea, this question that he asks himself at the end of the day, which is very similar to a question I ask myself at the end of each day, that has proven very, very impactful in my own life, and is a very practical, tactical tool that you can use to systematically improve your life. Because one of the problems with self-help advice that you see all over the social medias is it's too vague, it's too general to be able to go and actually apply and do something with. For instance, the advice, you've probably seen this before. I think it was originally in Atomic Habits from James Clear, where he talked about if you were to improve by 1% every single day, then by the end of the year, you're 365% better, right? Cool in theory, but how do you actually improve by 1% every day? 1% improvement is actually quite significant if you were to think about it. That's actually quite hard. But when you tell people that, just keep improving, be a better version of yourself tomorrow than you were today, just 1% better every day. And people throw out these slogans, but then you're left with okay, but what does that actually mean? What do I actually do with that? Well, Sharon suggested this question, and it's very similar to a process that I use. His question is called the DBQ question. Actually, it's not DBQ question. It's just called the DBQ because question is the Q in there. So, and this is very similar to the process that I call my daily game day footage review, right? So, but DBQ is a lot easier to say. It is the do better question. The do better question. It's very simple. The idea behind this is that you just ask yourself at the end of each day, just take 5-10 minutes, and you ask yourself, what did I do today that if I was to do it better tomorrow would make me better tomorrow than I was today? And that could be as simple as, hey, I missed my workout today. So tomorrow, to be better, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do my workout. Or maybe I phoned it in on my workout. Tomorrow, I'm going to do it better. I'm going to show up with more intention, more intensity. It could be, I didn't make that phone call that I needed to make. I put it off. Tomorrow, I'm going to be the person that makes the phone call, doesn't put it off. Right? And so you identify what is one activity, just one, that if you were to do the next day better or at all, it would signal some kind of improvement. And I love this because it's so simple. You're not overwhelming yourself with 10, 15, 20 different things that you need to do. You just say, what's the one thing? What's my one thing that if I do it better tomorrow will prove that I have grown as an individual? I will be better as a result. And when you stack those up over time, you then get that 1% improvement that compounds and you become this drastically more potent version of yourself. Now, my version of this is just the game day footage review, right? So I like to sit down every morning and define what does winning the day look like. I set the parameters. I say, if I do this, this, and this, then that is a win. And I'm lazy, so I set that bar pretty low, right? It's like, get a workout and tell somebody you love them and, write for 20 minutes, right? I like to set it really low so that anything above that is all right, we just ran up the score. But at the end of the day, I do the game day footage review where I look back at my calendar, I look back at all the activities that I did, and I just honestly reflect, how did I show up for that? Where did I waste time? Where did I not show up with the right amount of intention or with the right amount of energy? And I look at the data. And then I use that to try and say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to do this thing better. When I go to that meeting, I'm going to try and show up as a better version of myself, right? But I like both of those frameworks, whether it's end of day, game day footage review, helping you prep for the next week's game, which is, tomorrow's game, or just the DBQ question, the do better question. What am I going to do better tomorrow to be better tomorrow than I was today? And I think it's just a simple framework, but very powerful. And here's the other thing. The more, if you want to rapidly grow, if you want to skyrocket and become Tony Robbins in the next year, all you got to do is increase the frequency in which you ask yourself that question, right? Instead of waiting to the end of the day and saying, what can I do better tomorrow? You ask yourself at the top of every hour, what could I do better in the next hour? That meeting that I just came from, I kind of zoned out between minutes 22 and 33. So what can I do better in my next meeting moving forward? What's the next thing that I can do? So increase the frequency with which you ask yourself the question will reduce the cycle in which you learn, you do, and then you iterate. That's the mastery cycle. So the more frequently we ask ourselves, the quicker we grow. So there you go. That's all I got for you. I'll try and do better in the next one. But until then, stay hyper-focused, my friend.